What is up? Let's see if this sound is working okay. Okay, we look to be okay. Right, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Saturday night, 10:15 p.m. Wait for a few people to get in. Hello out there. Hello, everybody. What is up? Layla King. Oh no, I'll just drop something. Okay. Tothet, what's up? Production session, Robinson AA, AD. What is up, everybody? Hope you're all well. Okay, let me know if the sound is okay, because last time I did this, which is one of the reasons why I don't do live too much, is because of the whole. I've been having some real gash internet lately. I don't know what's going on. So hopefully you can hear me okay. Tom, what is up, man? Hey, Tom, if you're free, you're very welcome to give me a call, and we'll have a chat live on air. Dino, Layla King. If I miss anybody, I do apologise. Alien, what is up? I used to be Bruce Lee, now I'm Alien. Congratulations, well done. Sam Pickett, what's up? Layla King, Finchley Crew. Calm in the eye of the storm. That is a quality name. Eating a veggie burger. Awesome. I love veggie burgers. I'm not vegetarian, but I do like them. Thanks very much, Alien. Vital Fusion X. R-E-R-E. Way out, man. Adam Scott, Chris Barnes, Jamie M, Larry Merchant, Arid, hello. Ike, thank you. Leroy Footlong, production session, Sammy, Rob, Stephen Perry, Larry Merchant again, Robinson AA, hello. Deephog, B6, Creases 33, hey there. Right. So I don't really have a particular option or a particular subject, I should say, because my wife fell asleep about 45 minutes ago. My son is fast asleep, so I don't have too much going on. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna come spend a few minutes with you guys, see how everybody's cracking. Are you all gonna stay out for the Matchroom card tonight? What is up? Come so far so quick. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my original aim for the first 12 months was 1,000 subs. Then when we finished the first 12 months on 7,500, I said, okay, let's do 15,000. Let's see if we can do it again. And yeah, 8,000 ahead of target. PED, what is up? Why do Al Heyman fighters seem to do whatever he says? Well, I think Al Heyman, he helps them out quite a bit. Do you know what I mean? I think that whenever they get some kind of financial troubles or if they need a loan or something like that, he always helps them out. So, who do you think is a wild card opponent for Anthony Joshua? Eddie Hearn was referring to. Well, he may have just been clowning. I've heard a lot of people say Andre Ward. I've heard some people say Klitschko return. So who knows? Who knows what it could be? I really don't know. I mean, for me, I kind of hope it's the winner of Wilder Fury. Um, Purely for undisputed, ideal situation, Dylan Whyte would fight the winner. But I don't think Wilder particularly wants to be fighting Dylan Whyte. So if Wilder or undisputed can't happen, then I'm all good for Joshua versus Dylan Whyte. Of course, he gets through Derek Chisora. How many tickets Fury Wilder done by now? I think it's just over 8,000 now. I think just over 8,000 last I heard. But they have released the upper tier, and the upper tier is always cheaper. So maybe a lot of fans were waiting for that one to be released. So yeah, I would expect a couple of thousand to be sold between now and then. In fact, I'm probably going to predict probably 12 to 15,000 sold. So which ain't bad. It's not brilliant for the so-called biggest fight of the year. Layla King. Yeah, I think that'd be Dylan. We'd agree. What's up? You reckon it's Ortiz? Could be because we know that Ortiz is on his final fight on the Wilder Fury undercard, and there's talks, according to his manager Jay Jimenez, that he's going to be going to Matchroom Boxing USA. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Usyk's last performance. It's a tricky one. I mean, I've only seen it live. I haven't seen the replay. So, but of what I've seen, of what I remember of it, of course, I think it's a case of Usyk was waiting for the right moment, waiting for Bellew to maybe slip a bit, and then get cracking on him. So his first few rounds, I think he gave him away, but I think he gave him away on purpose to maybe give a bit of self-confidence to Tony Bellew. But I mean, ultimately, I think he done really good. AA Boxing and Blunts. What is up? Leroy Footlong, slightly pissed off fighting on BT Sports. Well, well, what can you do? I mean, I'm with Virgin Media. Obviously, I've got Sky Sports, but on Virgin Media, of the week of the fight, you always get the option for other pay-per-views anyway. So I'm not too fussed it's on BT Sport. It was always going to be pay-per-view anyway, wasn't it? So Carl B, what's up? Amos Brown, create a dream fight card. Who do you want? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good question. Who would be the headliner of the dream fight card? For me, I think maybe Vladimir Klitschko versus Lennox Lewis. That would be a good one. Um, Mike Tyson versus Muhammad Ali. That'd be interesting. Or actually, Mike Tyson versus Anthony Joshua. That'd be a good one. Paul Kemp. Eddie Hearn was saying the other day, American buy last minute ticket. Believe it or not, I know it's touched a soft spot with you. Keep it. Eh? Well, no, that's common knowledge, isn't it? But that's only for the normal fight cards. Real big fight cards sell in days. And Oscar De La Hoya, he used to sell out arenas real quick within like the first few weeks, and so did Mike Tyson used to. Um, so yeah, for lower cards, so average cards, yeah. I mean, for whatever reason, it's a bit of a backwards thing. I don't quite understand it. Why in America? I mean, if you really want to go to an event, why wouldn't you get your ticket now? Why would you wait till the last minute? I don't quite understand it. Again, if I miss anybody in the chat, I do apologise. So come on round and say hello again, because I'm not going to touch the chat, because usually when I touch the chat, things mess up. Um, Carl B, the last minute buy is a meme. Yeah, yeah. I think so. It just seems odd, doesn't it? Because if you really want to go to an event, if you've got the money, you'll get the ticket, right? Surely. But hey, Vital Fusion X. Who do you think will win in a fight, Miller or Whyte? Be a very good fight. I think Whyte will do it. I think Whyte will weather the first few rounds, crack Miller with a few body shots, and maybe take over from then. I'll buy my last cocaine one last minute before they sell out. Ellie sucks balls, not reporting. Ellie, yeah. It's a girl's name, right? I don't know why he called himself Eddie Setback. When I mean, I'm not subscribed to that guy anyway. I find him annoying. I find him a bit of a weasel, to be honest. He's like paparazzi. I don't like paparazzi, people who chase people around. For me, if you're going to do an interview, arrange it. You know, I mean, that's just me anyway. Wilder is a crackhead. Ronnie, what's up? Ronnie Pickering is back. Hey, Miller had to come to Chisora White fight week. Yeah, I know Miller was supposed to go to the White Parker one, but I think Sky Sports told him not to because of his comments towards AJ's mum, and they thought that the crowd might be a bit hostile. And Dylan White said if he sees Miller, he's going to give him a crack. So Kiwi Box, what's up? I stopped taking cocaine. I didn't like the smell of it. You know what? I've never done drugs. I've never tried them. I've never even tried marijuana. He's been born and bred into the business. Mm, he has. He has. Although for a long time, boxing wasn't really part of it. It was all snooker and darts, wasn't it? So, oh, good. Thanks, Ronnie. Hope you're good too. Hope you're good too. Hope life is good up in the mountains. Later, King. Eddie is a good man. I couldn't tell you to be honest. Vanessa, Eddie should fight Frank Warren pay per view. That would be pay per view, wouldn't it? That would be awesome. I think I'll take Eddie on that one. Well, I have no idea about his sons, Frank Warren's sons, Francis and the other guy. I have no idea if these guys have any kind of boxing experience or anything. Militia step up and fight somebody. Currently, yeah, yeah. I'm not keen on this fight with Bogdan Dini. They can sell it as 18-0 all they like, but let's be honest. How much have they actually? I don't know. Who is it that Bogdan Dini's fought? Do you know what I mean? It is not. It just doesn't make too much sense to me. It really doesn't. Neil Armstrong. Who are your top three boxers of all time? Oh God, that's a good one. Mm. Oh, I've got loads of them. Um, Lennox Lewis is probably my favorite heavyweight. Ricky Hatton I used to love. Um, Mike Tyson used to love. George Foreman, his comeback one, of course. I wasn't even born in his original one. Um, Nigel Benn was one as well. Chris Eubank, I didn't really appreciate him until he retired because I thought he was a bit of a I don't know. I suppose as a kid, I kind of believed a lot of the hype and a lot of the selling of being the bad guy. Much like Prince Nassim Hamid. Again, I didn't really appreciate him until he retired. So Mike Tyson's best, yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember, as a very small kid, Mike Tyson was, I know he had this reputation of this real frightful man. Really did, and especially when he beat up Frank Bruno. Again, Frank Bruno, he was one of my favorite guys as well. But again, I always liked the nearly man. Do you know what I mean? Like, not just in boxing, but in boxing, it was like Frank Bruno, the guy who nearly got there. He always got to like the world title fight, but never quite achieved. He did with Oliver McCall, of course, but before then, it was always a case of he just got there and then got knocked out. And it's the same with like Jimmy White in snooker. I'm not a snooker fan, like nowhere near it, but as a kid, I used to always watch like the final like Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry, and Jimmy White. And I always wanted Jimmy White to win it purely because he'd never won it before. And I can't do that with like a lot of things in sport. I think maybe that's kind of one of the reasons why I've stuck with Newcastle United, and for the fact because I was born here. But sport and icons versus ES News, man, that's easy work, man. I'll bust him up, tiny little man. He'd get busted within 30 seconds. Busted. Dino Whyte, man. Oh yeah, Joe Kazagi. Yeah, yeah. Again, Joe Kazagi, he was one of my favorites as well. I liked him, but again, I was a little bit critical because for quite some time, it was a case of I remember like my stepfather always saying, "When's he going to fight someone good? When's he going to fight someone good?" Because he kind of eventually did against Chris Eubank, and then fought a whole bunch of nobodies, and then eventually he ended up fighting. Was it Jeff Lacey, then Bernard Hopkins, and then Roy Jones Jr. Wasn't it? That was his last one. Pammy Singh, what's up? Arsene Wenger. Do you see AJ ruling the heavyweight division for years to come? Is there anybody now who could stop his progress? Hmm. I mean, there's a few that can. I mean, if Deontay Wilder lands on him, he can. Tyson Fury can outbox him if he can ever get back to his old self. Dylan White can as well. As of right now, yeah, I'll probably have to. probably favour Dylan White to beat Anthony Joshua out of everybody. But again, a lot of it's up to Anthony Joshua. If he keeps focused, then yeah. Go debate with Boxing Ego. He's probably blocked me, to be fair. Blocking Ego. BG London, bad guy, what's up? Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys stopping by. How can make anyone mainstream? Well, yeah. I mean, when you got the platform of Sky and now DAZN, certainly can. Certainly can. I mean, unfortunately, we can't live in a day and age where not everything is down to skill set. Not everything's down to what you can do in the ring. A lot of it is about having the mouthpiece. Like with Anthony Joshua, how popular would he be without Eddie Hearn being the mouthpiece? Because for quite some time, Joshua wasn't the most outspoken kind of guy. He was always well spoken. Now he's a lot more comfortable, but for a long time, it was always Eddie Hearn making like the mouthpiece. But without the mouthpiece, you can't make a real success, as in real high money, being on big platforms and selling yourself, selling like a lot of tickets and pay per views potentially, unless you've got something outside the ring, which is the gift of the gab. And a lot of people like to, well, uh, uh, it's difficult to say because most people will probably like trash talk. But then there's a selection of people who don't like trash talk. People see boxing as, you should be start again. You should be respectful to your opponent, and it's a real nice sport, and it should be rivalry, but it's a beautiful sport. It's not a beautiful sport. You're punching people in the head for a living. You're getting punched in the head. So if you can get into your opponent's head, by all means, then that's exactly what you should do. But again, there's a line that I think boxers shouldn't cross. You should always leave family out of it. If you're going to trash talk your opponent, always leave family out of it. Real personal details as well, leave out of it. Who's a better talker, Fury or Ali? Well, again, totally different eras. I mean, it's like Muhammad Ali now. I mean, people say who's the greatest of all time and who would be the best if they were still around today. And a lot of people say Muhammad Ali. But as good as Muhammad Ali was back then, and he was like a torchbearer for a hell of a lot of fighters today, and he really opened up boxing to the mainstream. But I think you put Muhammad Ali in today, again, it's going to be debatable. But I think Muhammad Ali wouldn't make it much past, say, British level today, purely because the training is different, everything's different. The men are so much bigger, much more powerful, and although to be fair, he'd probably be cruiserweight anyway. But yeah, but as far as trash talking goes, Muhammad Ali was excellent in his time. He'd come out with the whole poems and diss talk and what have you. Tyson Fury, he's good at it. He's very, very good. But Tyson Fury is one of these kind of guys. He's not afraid to make a bit of an ass of himself, if that makes sense. Proven 187, what is up? Damien Paul. Robert, wild as all mouth. Absolutely, he is. Doberman, where do Povetkin and Parker go now? Well, hopefully fight each other. That would be a good one, wouldn't it? I would rather watch a Dylan White interview. Dylan White, I think Dylan White is probably one of the very few boxers today, and maybe Jaron Miller, that probably could out-talk Jaron Miller. Sorry, Tyson Fury. Tommy Temper. Oops, sorry, I just missed it. Fat Apple's just seen you pop in there. Hello. Tommy McDonald. You have Hearn's number. Well, I've got the Matchroom office number, but again, that was given to me by I don't really know if I should say it or not. Yeah, Barry. Barry gave me that number. But again, I think the numbers you can pretty much find it online anyway. No, but no, I don't have Eddie's direct number. I don't particularly want it or need it. Do you watch the MTK shows on IFL? If I know some of the fighters that's going to be on it, yeah. I mean, one of the fighters who goes on there quite a bit, who I do like, is Dan Aziz. I think Dan Aziz is light heavyweight, trains with Lawrence Coley at the Cool Bucks. Um, so yeah, I like him. Charlie Driscoll as well. He's good. So yeah, I do watch some of them, but no, not religiously. But again, you see a lot of them. They come on pretty early during the day, and unless it's like a real TV show, I don't really watch them too much. Not because I don't want to. It's because if there's one on like TV like Sky Sports and it's a big event, then my wife doesn't mind me watching it. So like my wife will take my son upstairs and watch movies together, eat popcorn, that kind of thing, and just like leave me to watch the boxing. But if it's just like a IFL live stream, no, no, not at all. Because obviously some weekends I need free to spend time with family. Because if there's boxing on every single weekend, I wouldn't have a family for much longer. The old wife will be divorcing me. Would Josh Kelly beat Khan? Ooh, that's a good one. I like Josh Kelly. Very, very good fighter. We haven't seen the best of him yet. I'm convinced of it. But I suppose it's an easy thing to say, isn't it? He's only 8 or 9-0 now. So it's difficult. I mean, Adam Booth, he says that if you put Josh Kelly in with higher quality, you'll see Josh Kelly a hell of a lot more. So it's difficult to say, but I mean, would he beat Amir Khan right now? Don't know. I'd like to see it though. I'll be interested. Miller is on at 2 a.m. Yeah, I mean, the Miller fight will probably be on about 4 a.m., 4 to 5 a.m., which again, that's something because Eddie Hearn said that with the DAZN shows, they can put them on any time, but they don't really. It's still the same time as it always has been. So I'm a little confused with what Eddie meant by that. Mumsa, what's up? Chef United, what's up? KR Vids, AJ Shy, Wilder Shy. Is Dylan White Shy? Is Tyson Fury Shy? Lewis is utter garbage. Hmm. Again, I think that Luis Ortiz he needs another big fight to see what he's about. Because again, I mean, I want to be rude to Luis Ortiz. I like him, but I think if you because his only real step up is Deontay Wilder, and is he really a step up? Because Wilder's never stepped up. So again, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, maybe both of them are just complete. I don't know. They're not even elite fighters yet. We don't know. I mean, Luis Ortiz's best win was Brian Jennings, who come off a defeat to Vladimir Klitschko. So already he's disappointed. He's got a loss on his record. Um, then he struggled with Malik Scott, struggled with Dave Allen, and I love Dave Allen, but Dave Allen of that period and Luis Ortiz of that period, Luis Ortiz should have steamrolled him, but he couldn't do it. But you know what? Who am I to say? You know what I mean? AK super dope. Wilder underestimating Fury. I'd be surprised if Fury pulls it off, man. I hope so. I would love Tyson Fury to do the business. I would hope that he does the business. And what I mean, one hell of a fairy tale that would be. I mean, if you think about it, if people take out the fact whether they like Tyson Fury or whether they don't, the fact that he not only went to Germany, beat Vladimir Klitschko, had to vacate belts, got belts stripped off him, so he lost everything, went down a very, very dark, deep path, fell into the dark, deep rabbit hole, put on a hell of a lot of weight, was taking drugs, was copious amounts of alcohol, went missing for like 2.5 years, didn't step foot in a gym, fell out with his family, because I know him and Peter aren't talking that now, and then comes back, and his third fight back becomes world champion again after beating Deontay Wilder. That is one hell. I mean, that's a movie. That is really a movie. But can he do it? Personally, I don't like saying it, and I know that a lot of Tyson Fury fans believe, well, if I don't believe he's going to win, then I don't believe he's going to win. But I think it's too early for Tyson Fury. That's just my opinion, and I hope to God to be wrong. Malik took a dive, Scott. Yeah, he did. He did. He got hit, bang, right on the gloves. and he went down like he'd been shot. And right before then, he winked at Deontay Wilder. So, and Mallet Scott has been in virtually every training camp with Deontay Wilder. It makes him wonder if he deliberately got paid to take a dive or he just bottled it. But there's no way he got knocked out, though. No way. No way in hell. Great fight. And I'll just edge with Parker on that one. I think Parker beats Ortiz on points by maybe split decision, depending on where it is, of course. You staying up for the zone? Not sure. I'm not overly excited about this card. Got to be honest. I mean, I think Clarissa Shields versus Hannah Rankin. That's an interesting one, but again, I'd like Hannah Rankin to win purely because it's a Brit thing. But Clarissa Shields is something special, though. Let's be real. She is something special. She really is. Miller versus Bolton Dinu. Not interested, really. We know who's going to win that one. In fact, there's no 50-50 fights on that card. Oh, no, actually, maybe Luis Arias versus Gabriel Rosado. That could be a 50-50. That would be an interesting one. But outside of that, there's nothing that really strikes me to go, yeah, I want to see that fight. But again, you see, people have to remember it's very early in the zone creation. They're literally just starting out. They're on their baby steps right now. So for everybody who's maybe says it's an excellent show or it's a real poor show or whatever, I mean, it's too early to judge the zone shows, in my opinion, right now. You fought Jesse Altman, did you really? Uh, yeah, me too. I would love it if Tyson done it and fought Anthony Joshua. Clarissa Shields is magic. She is very, very confident though, which is, I suppose, what you need. But the thing is, she's backing up in the ring. I mean, she's got what? Is it 6, maybe 7 fights under her belt now? Already she a 2-weight world champion, unified world champion, double Olympic gold medalist, and still in her early 20s? That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It's a shame her and Katie Taylor can't meet at some kind of catchweight, isn't it? It's a real shame. I like Wilder and his roided biceps. Yeah. The thing is with Wilder, you see, he punches hard, but if you notice with a lot of his shots, he does he aims to hit you on the back of the head with the wrist. So if you just misjudge where that punch is going, just go back a little bit, you'll get hit with the fist. So it's a very clever move. It's illegal, but very, very clever. But if you notice with Wilder, he usually lands on the back or the side of the head with his wrist, which is terrible. Kelly would KO Khan if he hit him, yeah. What's that about Chris Eubank Jr.? Kid Stacy, what's up? If Fury wins on the first, do you think he will fight AJ? If the money's right, yeah. But again, I mean, what kind of split do you give him? I mean, I think Tyson Fury, I mean, because he was unified champion and the fact that he's never lost, and then beats Wilder, I mean, for him to get, I don't know, 60-40 in AJ's favour? 55-45 maybe? But again, you know what? I mean, I couldn't really grumble with 50-50 to be fair, because them two here in the UK would be absolutely massive. It really would be. Wilder hits beyond the ear. Yeah, exactly, Boxer Social. Exactly. Wilder hits on the temple. Yep. I like Nick Webb, but no, I like Nick Webb. He's good. I think that with Nick Webb, a lot more training's needed and a bit more defense work, a bit more stamina, and Nick Webb would be up there. Joyce versus Huey's interesting. Yeah, but the thing is, though, would Huey Fury take the fight? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Briteco9, appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Thank you very much. M. Hughes and Fury will not be able to lean back. Well, yeah, again. You see, that's the thing. See, a lot of people, they look at Tyson Fury's performance against Vladimir Klitschko, but that style against Wilder won't work because Wilder, I don't think he's going to be afraid of Tyson Fury's punches. In order for Wilder to back off, because Wilder is a back-footed fighter, but for him to back off due to fear of getting knocked out because he's been rocked on several occasions. He needs Tyson Fury needs to hurt him, but can Tyson Fury hurt him? That performance against Klitschko isn't the performance he needs against Wilder. If he goes in there and starts leaning back and messing about, hands behind the back, he's going to get done. At some point, Wilder will just come in swinging and he will catch him. It's as simple as that. Katie says hi. Hey, Katie. Tommy McDonald. Kwas Adel Zaman. What is up? No fight, including Huey, is ever going to be interesting. It's interesting for the fact that Huey Fury and Joe Joyce have been sparring for the last year or two now. Well, on and off, they've been pretty regular sparring partners, so they know each other. So it'll be an interesting chess match between them. Allen versus Sexton is interesting. Again, yeah, yeah. I think Dave Allen wins that one. To be fair, I mean, I like Sam Sexton, I really do, but I don't think we'll ever see him as British champion again. Hay 2010, Wilder 2016. Oh, David Hay, without doubt. David Hay sparks him silly. Appreciate that, Glens. Appreciate it. The famous Scott wink. Yeah. When is Eubank to Gale? I think is it 12th or something like that of January? Potentially ITV pay-per-view, of course. Um, yeah. I think it's the first half of January and potentially promoted by Al Heyman of the PBC. I'm not too sure how much BT are going to charge. I would imagine probably about 20 quid. I would imagine. I mean, if BT Sport want a lot of people to purchase Wilder versus Fury, then they need to get the price pretty cheap. But there again, I mean, if you're American, okay, and you're looking at it, you're thinking, hang on a minute, I'm being charged what 80, $85 for this for pay-per-view. And those guys in the UK are only being charged 20 quid, which is equivalent to what, 25, $30. Why am I having to pay nearly three times the amount to bet unfair? So hopefully Showtime will keep the price down. Hopefully they release it around about what $40 to $50. Then they'll get more sales, I think, and ultimately make more money. Because if you be greedy and put the price high, $85, that's stupid money, isn't it? Especially for a fight that on paper is mismatch at this stage of Tyson Fury's comeback. Who does Usyk fight in his first fight as heavyweight? Um, First fight, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Um, I'd like to see him fight. Would Povetkin be too early? Maybe. I think somebody who's not really big would be good. I think Povetkin might be one. Um, Maybe potentially even Luis Ortiz would be another pretty good one. I think AJ Wilder, Tyson Fury, Dylan Whyte too early for him for a first toe dip in the water of heavyweight. I think there again, maybe somebody much lower, maybe like a 10 to 15 ranked. That wouldn't be bad. Maybe against like a Trevor Bryan or someone. I mean, you put him in against Miller, that would be awkward. I mean, that would be real awkward. Parker, yeah, yeah, huge mismatch. Wilder needs to improve. Mm. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I mean, Wilder is technically flawed, always has been, but he's got away with it because of the level of opposition. But he's got confidence now, and what is boxing motivates confidence. So going up against Tyson Fury, he's not going to be worried about Tyson Fury's punch power. I mean, Tyson Fury can punch pretty hard, but he chooses not to. So, yeah, I'll have to wait and see. I mean, I would love Tyson Fury to spark Wilder out. I want to see Tyson Fury hit Wilder and Wilder's legs just buckle. That's what I want to see. But will we see it? We don't know. Have you ever seen a heavyweight knockout in person? No, I mean, I think all the heavyweights that I've seen have all been like I don't know what, the heavyweight hits the floor and almost like gives up on the canvas, or the referee kind of steps in. For me, I think the live for a live, as in the audience, of course, you're talking about. I think cruiserweights are more interesting than watching heavyweights. But on TV, it seems that heavyweights are much better. But in life, in real life, you'd be surprised how slow heavyweights actually are. I mean, if you've never been to a heavyweight boxing match, heavyweights look slow, real slow. Miller needs to step up, stop fighting journeyman. Yeah, I agree. That's what I mean. I mean, so he's taken on Bogdan Dinu. Then he wants Fraser Quendo. I mean, come on, man. He wants Manuel Char. Not really a list that makes you go, "Ooh, that's good." Nobody beats Wilder. If you're a journeyman, no. Kevin Worrell. Uh, Heavyweights in person are so slow. Yeah, exactly. They are, Carl. Yeah, yeah. It is. I mean, that's why for the big men, watching live, I prefer to watch cruiserweights live. But on TV, I like watching heavyweights more. Sidestep, uppercut, Tyson win over a sloppy tired Wilder round 8 or 11. That'd be good. That'd be good. But there again, I mean, have you ever seen Deontay Wilder gassed? I mean, he's got the engine of a racehorse. You know, he just keeps on going. And I mean, one of the things I can admire about Wilder is that Wilder is perfectly okay to give up rounds, to give up the early rounds. And he's always going to get a confidence that next round I'm going to get you. And if that doesn't happen, next round I'm going to get you. So Wilder could probably lose to Tyson Fury the very first 11 rounds, clear cut, and he'll still go into the 12th round confident that he's going to catch Fury in the 12th round. So from that point, I have to give Wilder credit is that he's got real self belief. You know, only AJ can beat himself. Yeah, that's true. Gabs, what is up? Hope you're good. Joe Joy saying it's slow. No, no, of course he's not. Otto Wallin versus Ajit Capiel. Who wins? Ooh, I'd love to see the fight. If that fight be made, I don't know. I'll probably have to go Cabiel to be honest. I think Cabiel is underrated. I know he just scraped a victory over Derek Chisora, but I think that yeah, I think Cabiel is better than what people are giving him credit for. I think maybe I mean one is real good, but I don't think he carries anything that's going to really worry Cabiel. And Cabiel's a fantastic boxer though, and he's got a bit of power behind him. You know. What round does Whyte drop Chisora? I reckon round number 4 or 5. That's what I reckon. Yeah, again, AMB, what's up? Yeah, I think that if Tyson Fury knocks out Wilder, Wilder will never ever step foot in the ring again. He won't be able to show face. And this is what I mean. It's about, it's a case of, it's one thing to get a close decision loss. He can then have the rematch and people will still be interested, okay? But if he were to get knocked out by Fury, no disrespect to Fury, but he doesn't have a reputation as a big puncher. I mean, when was the last time he actually knocked somebody out? It's been a hell of a long time ago. So if he knocks out Wilder, that's something you could never ever live down, and people will mock him for years. His entire fan base will walk away from him because he got knocked out by Tyson Fury. So if this was a prime Tyson Fury, which it's not, if it was and he beat Wilder on points, nobody would be really surprised. If Wilder wins by knockout, nobody will be surprised. So how about the possibility of Deontay Wilder beating Tyson Fury on points? As in legitimately. I'm not talking quite clearly lose the fight, go to the points, and then Tyson Fury gets robbed. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Deontay Wilder legitimately outpoints Tyson Fury. What are the chances? Your 12-year-old fighting tomorrow. Well, good luck. We're hopefully wearing head guards. Make sure that they're wearing head guards. But yeah, that'd be an interesting one. I think Deontay Wilder to outpoint, outbox Tyson Fury. That's something that people just haven't thought about. Haven't thought about it. Maybe people haven't thought about it because it's just downright ridiculous, right? But hey, things happen. Bet the Americans are desperate to see Frankie Gavin on ESPN. Yeah. I mean, Frankie Gavin at one point, he was looking real good, but I don't know what happened to him, to be honest. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't even aware he was even on ESPN. I knew he was fighting today, but I wasn't aware he was on ESPN. Hey, well done, Wheelie Gree. Well done for posting the link to the website. Actually, I've updated the website. Well, I update the website quite a lot, so hopefully you guys use it to go up there, especially in the upcoming events. I always add the upcoming events, so when you click on it, you can see what fight event is next all the way through. So you should definitely use it. Should definitely use it. You pick Wilder a lot, sporting. When it comes to Tyson Fury at this stage, I kind of have to. I have to. And I know for whatever reason, when I pick Wilder to beat Tyson Fury, Wilder fans get upset. It's almost like a lot of Wilder fans don't want me to pick Deontay Wilder to beat Tyson Fury. I think it's because they're worried that the rest of the people kind of realize that Tyson Fury is not ready, and he's not ready. I don't believe, but I hope to be wrong. Hope to be wrong, but anyway, yeah, I think Tyson Fury is going to win. Sorry, Deontay Wilder is going to win. But although there is some parts of me that's looking at Tyson Fury going, actually, maybe because he seems very confident. And if he's very confident and he's even close to being back to where he once was, yeah, I think this would be a very, very easy points win for Tyson Fury. But ultimately, we'll have to tune in and find out, won't we? Imagine Audley Harrison versus Sam Sexton. I got Sam Sexton in that one, to be honest. I mean, can you believe that David Hay convinced a lot of the British boxing public to buy him on pay-per-view versus Audley Harrison? And I was one of them. Cliff Bailey. The sheep, yeah. The girl beats Eubank. Do you think so? I'm not sure. I think I've always liked the girl. I've always been a massive fan, but I'm starting to see he's turning into, as far as boxing terms go, old man. But I don't know. Carson Skills versus Wilder. Well, that's the thing. I think Wilder. I mean, his skill set is terrible. You think in 40 fights he'd improve just a little bit, but I mean, he's a lot more confident now, which makes him more dangerous. He can telegraph his punches, but as I said, he's got down to a fine art. If you aim for the ear or the back of the head with your wrist, there's a very good chance if you don't hit him with that, then you'll hit him with a glove, which could rock him. So he's figured that one out, and hopefully Ben Davis and Tyson Fury have. Which I'm sure they have. What were the Harrison versus Hay pay-per-view numbers? They were pretty good. I did a video on Sky Sports pay-per-view numbers. What 2 months ago I think it was, and I think it done quite well to be honest. The girl looks old now. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. George Rodriguez. Gavin's problems was a lack of discipline, natural lightweight. Shame that was just standing out. Yeah. Remember Fisher? I was saying who's the biggest waste of talent. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Martin, hello. How are you? I hope you're well. Wild skill set isn't terrible. What do you mean it isn't terrible? Of course it's terrible. Awful. Absolutely awful. But he's dangerous as hell. Eubank will win. Still think the girls, sure, maybe. Yeah, again, I think that I mean, isn't it weird that DeGale he give up his title, um, and then wants to fight Chris Eubank Jr. I mean, for me, why didn't he just fight that Usyk guy, however the heck you pronounce his name, beat him, and then keep the title and go fight Chris Eubank Jr. for the title? That would make it so much bigger. Wilder will come through Fury. Yeah, I think so too. I don't want it to happen, but I think it will. Who wins, Wilder versus Miller? Oh, again, that's a tough one. I think Miller. I think Miller, but Miller's going to have to take his shots. Can Miller take his shots? That's the thing. I think the best way to slow Miller down is the body shots. That's not something Wilder does too often. He doesn't throw too many body shots. I mean, he does throw them, of course, but not often enough. No, Kyle, you're being ignorant. You're being very, very ignorant. 40 fights, exactly 40 fights. He's had 40 fights and he hasn't improved at all. And this is common knowledge. Common knowledge. If it wasn't, then people wouldn't be saying it, would they? If Fury kicks Wilder in leg, it would snap like a matchstick. They are crazy, crazy skinny legs, aren't they? Do I box? No, I don't. I don't. I used to love it as a kid. Um, my dad used to take me to like boxing classes and karate, but I kind of went with karate side. That was the kind of one that I went out on because I felt that uh, karate was more interesting for me. I also loved watching boxing, and I was a huge fan of like the Rocky movies and what have you. But and like my dad used to get like it's whether you guys remember it, it's like an old punch bag filled with clothes, old clothes. I used to punch that thing, and my knuckles used to be red raw from punching it because my dad never used to buy me wraps or anything like that, and he used to have like real thin boxing gloves. And the thing I didn't like about boxing was the fact that the training. I felt like I was turning up to do sit-ups and things like that, which I didn't like. Whereas in karate, you'd learn like the kata and things like that, and and you'd actually do some moves. Whereas in boxing, you didn't really. That they got you to do warm-ups, do sit-ups, do press-ups, and punch a bag. I was like, well, I can do that crap at home. Why do I need to? So yeah. So karate was for me. I wish I went boxing, to be honest. I wish I did. But as a kid, you don't really think about the future, do you? Okay, so what's happened with the chat? The chat just went bloop. Been following boxing for over 30 years, and I've only heard of seven of Wilder's opponents. Yeah, yeah, exactly. McGregor boxing stars, what is up? Maybe a good fella. Is Lomachenko the greatest white boxer of all time? I don't know. I don't think of boxers as in what color they are. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Greatest white boxer? It's not something I ever thought about. Probably no, would be the answer. He's only had what, a dozen fights. Um, Probably what, Calzaghe? Would that be fair? Maybe Calzaghe. Um, in being in high school. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, no, they didn't do boxing or any kind of combat sports in school. Um, Here in the UK, PE was pretty much sports was pretty much like track and field, football, soccer, if you like, rugby, cricket, tennis, but combat sports, no, or at least not in my school anyway. We didn't do any kind of combat sports at all. In fact, it was like forbidden. You even looked at another child the wrong way, and you're being dragged to the headmistress. So no, no, there's no combat sports. I mean, I know in America they kind of welcome combat sports over here, especially wrestling, and in college as well. They do like a lot of like college wrestling and things like that, which I think is why when it comes to the Olympics here in the UK, we suck at wrestling in the Olympics. We suck at it, and Americans are very good at it. And same like in China and Japan, like Asia, very very good at like kung fu, obviously karate, wrestling, all that kind of thing as well. Whereas here in the UK, when it comes to the Olympics, we're crap. But boxing, we're okay at because we have a very good amateur system, just not in schools though. or maybe they do now. But in my son's school, my oldest son, who's 13 years old, they don't have any kind of combat sports in his school, which is why he does a kung fu and Muay Thai. So he does like a two classes a week. Well, it's a two classes of each a week. But boxing, I, I want my boy to get into boxing, and he likes doing it, but he likes Muay Thai more than boxing. And I think it's for the same kind of reason that I did as a kid. You see, I took to karate more than I did boxing because it was more interesting, and the fact in karate and like kung fu, Muay Thai, etc., whatever else, you can earn certificates, you can earn belts. So it's like achieving. Whereas boxing, there's no achieving, until you're in tournament style. David Plant, what's that, brother? Hope you're good. AJ will show why Wilder is a paper champion. Yeah. Yeah, again, you see, I think there's so many Wilder fans who say AJ's a paper champion, but yet he won his title from Charles Martin, who got it as a vacant. And Deontay Wilder won his title from Bermane Stiverne, who got it as a vacant. So it's exactly the same thing. So if you're a Wilder fan calling AJ a paper champion, AJ won it the exact same way that Wilder did. Exactly the same way. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's been like loads of what amazing white fires. I think that I mean, it's always been a, I suppose, black man dominated sport. I think history shows that they're always kind of like the best at it, and I think a lot of it is down to bravery, or maybe opportunity might be the word as well. Um, Especially back in the day, equal rights wasn't really something that was really there. So a way for some people to try and earn a living was to get into boxing, whereas a lot of white people were getting opportunities in other jobs that didn't have to fall into boxing. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really think of it as in black, white, and whatever else. But I think Joe Calzaghe, for a white guy, was one of the best ones. Triple G, could we class Canelo as a white guy? I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, my favourite fighters were predominantly black fighters. Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno, Nigel Benn, you know. Andreas A. Valencia, what do you think of Sweet Carolina the fights? Do you sing along? I do. You see, my mum was a huge Neil Diamond fan. So of course, when I grew up, I always remember, especially on a Sunday, having like a Sunday dinner, which is like a very rare thing that we actually had like family time. But on a Sunday, at her dinner time was there, and my mum used to always put on the cassette in in the hi-fi in the living room, and it's always like, I mean, my mum used to always like Neil Diamond, so of course I know loads of Neil Diamond songs. Barry Manilow, I'm not a Barry Manilow fan by the way, but yeah, that was always on, and a lot of country and western. And it's kind of amazing how I grew up to be a rock and heavy metal fan, you know. But yeah, yeah, I do like Sweet Caroline, but I think Neil Diamond's done better songs there. Yeah, with Canada being a white guy, yeah, yeah, I know. But I mean, yeah, I suppose. I mean, he is ginger, so yeah, yeah, I suppose. Marciano is the best Wi-Fi. Heavyweight maybe, but again, I think I've only seen Marciano what, two fights, maybe two fights, and even then probably not all the way in. It's probably more highlights. Obviously Marciano is way before my time, um, and before like my parents' time and that as well. But yeah. I mean, all I know about Marciano is pretty much the record. That's pretty much it. But I think in today's game, wouldn't he be cruiserweight or light heavyweight? I think. Well, it's amazing, when I go on, like some mornings, I drive my son to school. It's quite a fast, like 10, 15 minutes drive if there's no traffic. And usually there or on the way back on the radio, because I'm up here in Newcastle, we have like a smooth radio. And I always put that one on. And most days they end up putting on Sweet Caroline, and automatically it gets me thinking about boxing. I kind of relate Sweet Caroline to boxing now. Whereas as a kid growing up, it was Sweet Caroline was a Neil Diamond song, along with Song Sun Blue and loads of other ones, and Kentucky Woman. And he said Gene Tunney was the best fighter I'd ever seen. I've never seen a Gene Tunney fight or anything like that. I've never. I mean, I know a lot of their names, but historian, I'm not. I'm nowhere near a historian. I don't know if that makes me a casual. I don't know, maybe. But with like the likes of, I mean, even Muhammad Ali, I haven't seen that many fights. I've probably seen what half a dozen, you know. But with Mike Tyson, of course, I mean, for me, my boxing history goes back to when I was a kid, like watching Lennox Lewis, watching the second half, if you like, of Mike Tyson, and the very, very end career part of Frank Bruno and that. So, but before then, I knew the names Muhammad Ali, but I'd never watched a Muhammad Ali fight until YouTube was invented. You know, I'm an aspiring historian. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that when you have your own channel, the amount of things that you kind of learn that you didn't know before, and somewhere along the lines, I think I turned into a boxing hardcore without ever really intending to. You know, but I think, yeah, as far as history goes, you know, Jack Johnson. Um, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, all these kind of guys, I couldn't tell you too much about them. I know pretty much about their lives from watching maybe a documentary and things like that, but as far as who they fought, when they fought, and how many times they were world champion, and I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. But some people, I can just say to you, what was Muhammad Ali's 25th fight, and can just tell you. I couldn't even tell you Muhammad Ali's last fight. Although maybe was it Larry Holmes? I don't know. To be honest, I couldn't tell you. Sweet Caroline for me is Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carr. See, I like Jimmy Carr. Very, very dry humor. I like him. He's a bit. Some of the things are a bit close to the button. I know comedians say that no subject should be taboo with a comedian. Well, it should be. You know, so certain things comedians just shouldn't talk about. You know, Crawford versus Lomachenko. Oh, that's a real tough one. I suppose because of size, you have to give it to Crawford. You'd probably weight bully him, even at catch weight, because obviously Crawford will put on a lot more weight within a 24-hour period than what Lomachenko would. But it'll be a very good fight. But I think Crawford will get the job done. I think he'll out bully or out weight bully Lomachenko. Maybe finish off Lomachenko late rounds. But kind of hopefully we'll never see that fight, to be honest, because that would be a real mismatch, I think, because of the weight. But um, do I think Wilder's that unknown in the US? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, he's a bit more known now because people are actually talking about him, and a lot of the Wilder fanatics. I'm not necessarily talking about people here in the chat, but like a lot of the channels, the ones who talk about Wilder quite a lot now, is only because of AJ. If AJ weren't around, Wilder wouldn't even be spoken about. Even when Wilder won the world title, you'd be hard pushed to find any of the Wilder fanatical channels with a video talking about Wilder winning that title. There's one talking about him. It's AJ that's kind of got the hype around. So with Wilder being upset that his fan base isn't very good or whatever, you know, he needs to be blaming those who weren't talking about him before but are now. You know, yeah, exactly. I couldn't tell you what Ali's 25, what Ali's 25th fight was. Couldn't even tell you. I said I couldn't even tell you his last fight. I want to say like Larry Holmes or something, but I could be way off on that one. Rumor has it that weight bully Spain's gonna get larger than life. Yeah. I mean, again, with him versus Mikey Garcia, that's a real mismatch. But it's amazing to me how many, and I know some channels who were criticizing Triple G for taking on Kell Brook, criticizing Kell Brook, sorry, Canelo Alvarez for taking on Amir Khan. But yet are big on this fight for Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. I don't understand it. Is it just because it's their fighter? Ali's 24 fight with Henry. Now, you see, that's one of the fights I have seen with Henry Cooper. Was that the one where he was Cassius Clay, wasn't he? Where Henry Cooper he hit Cassius Clay. Clay went down. The ropes kind of like held him up a little bit. The bell went, and they used smelling salts or cut his glove or something to like save him. That's again one of the very few that I've seen of Muhammad Ali. Do you think Billy Joe Saunders will go off the rails? Um, I think Billy Joe Saunders will go off the rails at some point. He's got the money to do whatever he wants, and it's kind of in it's his way to just be flamboyant. Yeah, so eventually he will go off the rails, but I think to do that he'll retire before that, or his going off the rails will retire him. Frank Warren bankruptcy. Let's talk about it. Yeah, again, I mean, this could just be complete hogwash from the sun. So I couldn't tell you if it was real or if Frank Warren is having problems or not. I have no idea. Wouldn't surprise me though, because he's been keeping Box Nation afloat for a long, long time, subsidizing it out of his own pocket, and I don't think it ever really paid off for him. And the fact it's still going now, and for the fact he hasn't been putting on too many great shows in the sense of if you have a Matchroom show and you have a Frank Warren show, most people will go to the Matchroom show. And it's not because about Eddie Hearn, and it's not because of Frank Warren. They look at the quality of the card. And while a lot of Frank Warren fights might be more 50-50 fights than what they are in Matchroom, I think the general public know more about the Matchroom fighters than they do Frank Warren fighters. So it wouldn't surprise me if you've got money problems. I mean, I wouldn't wish anything bad on Frank Warren. I think Frank Warren's done a lot for British sport or British boxing over the years. So hopefully none of it's true. Hopefully. Surely it is true. Do you think so? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, it's not unheard of for the Sun to just come out with complete garbage. But yeah, I think usually there's no smoke without fire, is there? So maybe he does have some financial problems. But there again, his financial problems, what they would consider as a financial problem, is totally different to what we would consider a financial problem. Us having like 50 quid left on our bank account is a bit of a financial problem. Him having 3 or 4 million left in his bank account might be considered a financial problem. Do I think Fury versus Wilder does over 1 million buys? No, I don't. I don't. Um, I kind of wish that it would, purely because Eddie Hearn did say that if that fight does over 1 million buys and Wilder wins, then he'll give Wilder 50-50 against AJ. At least then we know the fight's going to get made, right? So from that point of view, yeah, I kind of hope that it does. But realistically, no. I think around about 300,000 it'll probably do in the US, of course. AA shot Frank Warren. uh, do you know how many fight tickets have been sold for Wilder vs Fury? Not exactly, no. But was it about a week or two ago? Some ticket tout who's always buying tickets from American shows, not just boxing, but in general. He said at that point only 7,000 had been sold, which he considered really good. So, I mean, has it improved a lot since then? I don't know. I don't know. Last I heard was a little while ago where people were saying 8,000. So, couldn't tell you. But now they have released the upper tier, which are more cheaper prices. People might buy them a lot quicker now. Personally, I think they should just release the whole arena and then kind of see. I think they'll have a lot more sales. Neri versus Inu. Ooh, Lewis Neri versus Naoya Inoue. That's a tough, tough fight. I'll probably have to go with Inoue, to be fair, on that one. I like Neri, but I think that Inoue might just get a job done. And Inoue looks unstoppable, to be fair. I mean, for me, if you even look at the World Boxing Super Series with Inoue, the way that he stopped that guy, who I forgot his damn name now, was he from Venezuela or Puerto Rico or something? The way he just went in there and he knew what he was going to do. You know, he planned to knock him out in the very first round from pretty much the very first punch, and it worked. So him winning the WBSS, yeah, I think that Inoue could well win this. I did pick Ryan Burnett to win the tournament, so that one went right out the winner, didn't it? But you know what? You can't blame for injury. But there again, what do you beat him, Donaire? Because Ryan Burnett, he looked like he was struggling with Nonito Donaire for the first couple of rounds anyway. But who knows? I think maybe Donaire may have slowed down because of his age, and then Burnett would have took over. But I like the way Ryan Burnett fights. I like his style, very, very similar to Josh Kelly, maybe something to do with Adam Booth, the way that they train. But I did pick Ryan Burnett to win the tournament, so I was way off on that one. So now I'm going to go with Inoue. Fatty Acid Miller. uh, how old are you? Who's that to? Denny's Cocan. What is up? Who robbed Frank Warren is the question. Who robbed him? No, I think that's Frank Warren. He's a very proud man. You know, he won't want things to be seen on as a failure. So if a show is taking a bit of a hit, I think he will pay out of his own pocket. For example, whatever budget he's getting for a BT show, I don't think he's going to be. I say, for example, he gets like 100 grand for a show for BT Sport, and he puts on a card. He spends 100 grand, and he looks at it and he thinks, you know what, it ain't that good. Frank Warren is the kind of guy that will shell out for his own pocket to get another fight or two on the card, just to kind of like save face. I think that's what Frank Warren does, and he may have done it one too many times. But I mean, I wish Frank Warren good luck. I mean, he is a bitter old bugger when it comes to Eddie Hearn. He is, but you know, he's done a lot of good for boxing. He really has. Doman, I'm gonna call it now. AJ's next fight in April will be against Miller. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I think that it could be, but I mean, in order for AJ to fight Miller, it's gonna have to be a case of Wilder versus Fury went real, real wrong for Wilder, or there is a double-edged rematch, or Wilder just turned down Anthony Joshua again, and then it then gets moved on to Dylan White. And if that fight didn't happen, again, it's one of two reasons. Number one, Dylan White turned it down, which I can't imagine happening. Or number two, Dylan White has lost to Chisora. Again, I wouldn't think it's going to happen. But if any of those two fighters lose or don't take the fight, then Miller, I think, is third option. So it could be. But ultimately, I'm not too sure if I really want to be seeing AJ versus Miller. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I would rather see him take on Dylan White, to be fair. But ideally, in an ideal world, it's going to be Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. But again, if Tyson Fury knocks out Deontay Wilder, I don't think Deontay Wilder would take the rematch, and therefore there's no need for the rematch. So therefore, the contract agreement will be void, and then Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua could happen. But would Frank Warren negotiate properly with Eddie Hearn? I'm probably going to have to say no. I think that Frank Warren would insist on 50-50, which will be a bit of a mistake because I don't see Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua giving Tyson Fury 50-50 unless they're super, super, super confident that that fight will sell and make stupid amounts of money and they're crazy confident that AJ would beat Tyson Fury. Outside of that, I think Eddie Hearn will always want AJ to be the A side, which is open for debate, isn't it? Stapleton is far from sold out. Yeah, I don't even think that they've released all the tickets yet. I know that they've released a whole bunch of them now, but I don't think that they've actually released all of them. You think Fury might go southpaw against Wilder? I think Tyson Fury will switch, as he always does, southpaw to orthodox to any kind of style. I mean, I'm not even too sure if Tyson Fury knows what he's going to do, to be fair. That's my honest opinion. I don't think he knows. Fury versus White. You know about Tyson Fury? Well, apparently, because Dylan said that he actually dropped Tyson Fury the last time they sparred. He dropped Tyson Fury to the canvas. And I think this was just before the Vladimir Klitschko fight. So it'd be an interesting one. Dylan White's one of these kind of guys where he won't respect Tyson Fury's punching power. So he's not going to let Tyson Fury outbox him and run around him. He's just going to go straight at him and start hammering at his body. So you probably have to favour Dylan White in that one. But people won't favour him. I know they won't, but in my opinion, they will. Uh, WBC want winner of Wilder vs Fury to fight AJ in April. Well, I'm glad that the WBC want to do that, but ultimately the WBC can't make that fight because AJ isn't part of the WBC because he's champion of other sanctioning bodies. They can try and order that fight as much as they want, but that being AJ isn't mandatory. You know, he's champion of the WBO, IBF, and WBA and IBO. So ultimately, the WBC can't make that fight unless they made Anthony Joshua mandatory, much like they did with Triple G and Canelo, where Triple G was the middleweight WBC champion, and then even though Triple G was champion of was it the WBA at the time, um, Canelo they ordered Canelo versus Triple G. So they made Triple G mandatory. But at the minute, they've got Dominic Brazil as mandatory, so they're not going to push him out of the way and make AJ mandatory. So they can ask the winner of Fury and Tyson Fury to fight AJ. But ultimately, if they don't want to, can they really force it? I mean, maybe they could, but if they can't come to an agreement, it's like, I don't know, what do you do? Uh, Look at AJ sat there flexing. Hmm? Has Spence registered with VADA? I heard that he's not going to sign up with VADA for the Michael Garcia fight, which is disappointing. I don't know why Errol Spence Jr. just won't sign up for VADA. What's he afraid of? For me, if you're refusing to sign up for VADA, then you're hiding something. You have to be. It really is. The whole boxing governing system is effed up. Yep, it is. It is. But like I said, I mean, personally, I think that the WBC would rather that belt around AJ's waist, not because they like AJ more, but because AJ draws in money. Obviously, the more money their fighter makes, the more money that they make. And Rizzo Solomon, we know he's an attention seeker. He makes a WBC belt for everything and everyone. He's even made a WBC belt for the Pope, for crying out loud. So, yeah, I think that, and plus for the fact if Wilder versus AJ took place, the Ring magazine would then be on the line. It's not on the line for Wilder versus Fury because I don't think it's a worthy fight. Um, but I think the WBC will end up making a special undisputed fight title for that one, in my opinion. What do you think of Hatman from Vital Fusion? Yeah, nothing wrong with Hatman. He's all right. He's all right. I mean, for me, I don't have a problem with any kind of other YouTubers or anything. I have no problems with them. I mean, Hatman has his opinions, as everybody does. I have my opinions. Sometimes I agree with him, sometimes I don't, and that's pretty much it. But I mean, No, he's fine. I mean, he's good at what he does. He's been doing it for a very long time. So yeah, I think that he's one of those guys who knows what he's doing. He knows how to get the thumbs up, if you like, how to interact with the audience. So yeah, a lot of respect for Hatman. I like him. Uh, I've wrangled up 40 Brits that I don't even know to come to the fight. When you hear singing in the crowd, that'll be us. uh, did you see Ireland being New Zealand in rugby? Did they? Oh, Kiwi won't be happy. Kiwi box won't be happy. Rugby's never really been a sport I'm into. My mum loves rugby. My mum was Formula One as well. But in rugby, yeah, it's like she'll watch all kinds of things like the Six Nations and whatever. It's never been in my bag. It really hasn't. But yeah, so the All Blacks lost, did they, to Ireland? Don't tell Kiwi. He ain't gonna be happy. Do you think Lucas Brown will beat Patty? Of course, easy. Easy work. Patty's journeyman. I think that Lucas Brown's there to bring a lot of credibility to the event, which is a good event, by the way, which is going to be happening in New Zealand. Actually, when is that fight? Lucas Brown versus Junior Paddy. Let me have a quick look. Let's see if I can find it. Isn't it like middle of December or something, isn't it? I've got my phone up. Having a quick look. Oh, actually, no, it's next weekend. Yeah, 24th this month. I thought that Lucas Brown versus Junior Party was like December time. I didn't realize it was this month. I forgot. Even though I made a video on that fight, but Kiwi boxing in the box. Yeah. Ireland versus New Zealand. Kiwi and McGregor's going at it. Fight, fight, fight. Patty will get eaten. He will. He will. I mean, I've never seen Junior Patty fight, but his record seems pretty abysmal. Well, I say abysmal. 12 wins, 22 losses. November 24th, yes, American Patriot, yeah, yeah. Like I said, I thought it was like December time, which I should really have remembered because it's I did a video on it a couple of weeks back there, well, about a month ago. Anyone watching the DAZN undercards? Well, on Sky Sports, doesn't it start at 2 o'clock in the morning or something, or 1 o'clock, whatever it may be? So, but again, there's nothing really on the undercard that strikes me. I think the only real good fight on that card is Luis Arias versus Gabriel Rosado. Outside of that, there's no fights that make you go, ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's close. Even Brandon Rios, that should be a guaranteed win for him, right? Clarissa Shields should be a guaranteed win for her over Hannah Rankin. Even though I will be cheering for Hannah Rankin, as much as I do like Clarissa Shields, um, but obviously I will be cheering for Hannah Rankin. But Bogdan Dinu, I mean, I've never seen him fight, but his record looks pretty good. But against who? But I mean, speaking of um, Lucas Brown, I wished that Lucas Brown versus Joseph Parker happens. That fight needs to happen at the beginning of 2019, or people can forget about it ever happening. And I think these guys will regret it if it didn't, because that's a pretty good fight for those guys down under. I think that New Zealand versus Australia, Lucas Brown, Joseph Parker needs to happen, or even Joseph Parker versus Junior Farr, or Junior Farr versus Lucas Brown. These kind of guys need to just fight each other, and it will bring out a lot of hype back. Because I know a lot of people are quite disappointed with Joseph Parker losing back to back, and they're not too happy about him taking on Alexander Flores. But I think him versus Lucas Brown needs to happen before Lucas Brown gets in with somebody and gets sparked out again, and then that fight will just never happen, and then it'll turn into a whole Jeff Horn versus Anthony Mundine kind of situation where it's a good fight. Well, it's an interesting fight, but it's one that we know that Jeff Horn should just muller him, right? Joseph Parker KOs Lucas Brown. Very good chance of it, yeah. Very good chance of that. And it because Joseph Parker fights, I mean, even against I mean like a Kiwi will be able to tell you, but I'm pretty sure it's on pay-per-view. Isn't it like 50 New Zealand dollars or something? $50 to watch Joseph Parker take on Alexander Flores. When most people look at Joseph Parker and say, but hang on a minute, you've lost your last two fights. So why are we having to pay to watch for what, $50 or whatever to watch you fight Alexander Flores, where we've never heard of the guy? So I think him versus Lucas Brown, that's a sellable fight. Him versus Junior Farr is a sellable fight. Right, hook boxing. Agreed, Parker beats Brown easily. Yeah. McGregor, you're going to the Fury Wilder fight. Smash the shit out of the like button. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Click thumbs up, everybody. Forgot all about that. I haven't mentioned it all chat. Actually, I'm going to shoot off in a minute. I feel a little bit hungry. I'm getting like the midnight snacks. I have to turn into a gremlin. I'm a little bit peckish. So I'm going to shoot off in a minute. Oh, there you go, Kiwi. So, yeah, so $50. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could be the biggest Joseph Parker fan in the world, right? But if I mean, if this was Anthony Joshua, okay, and people pay per view no matter what for Joshua, but if he was to lose two fights back to back and then fought somebody we've never heard of and after pay per view, people go, no, we ain't doing that. You fight somebody that we want to see you fight, and then we'll pay it. Damn, McGregor, you're minted. You're going to fly all over there. Ed Kaler, do you ask for super chats? No, I don't. I don't. I mean, I know that there's quite a few YouTubers who I kind of like used to watch, but then I had to unsubscribe because they would only answer questions from people who would send in super chat. That's a form of begging. It's ridiculous. No, definitely not. I mean, the option's there if people want to do it, but if people don't want to do it, cool, no problem. I'm still going to answer your questions. But I mean, for me, I don't know how some of these channels like what was it that Wingy? Is it Wingy? He does that thing with IFL TV. Wingy. I've seen a couple of his ones once before where he would only answer questions if you sent in a super chat. I'm like, behave. You've got, why would you do that? Parker hasn't fought at home since Kajanu and Duke want to rip off. Yeah, yeah, that's it. And that was pay per view as well, wasn't it, Kajanu? But there again, Parker, he was, of course, WBA world champion though. So you can kind of understand it to a point. But yeah, it's definitely a way of ripping off the fans. Definitely. And I think I mean, obviously, I don't know the New Zealand market at all, but I would imagine the pay per view on New Zealand Sky is going to be crap. It's going to be absolutely awful because of the fact that he lost his last two fights, regardless of the fact against who it was. Fact is, you've got two L's in your record, and now you're asking for pay per view against a guy. I mean, let's be honest. Personally, I've never heard of Alexander Flores until he signed up to fight Joseph Parker. And I know New Zealand isn't the biggest boxing place in the world. It's growing, which is great. Much like Australia, it's growing. But how many people would have actually heard of Alexander Flores down under? Uh, I would imagine probably what, half a dozen people at best. Will Parker bit the Brown first party fight? Hmm, he probably will be, to be fair. He probably will be. Who has a better chin, Amir Khan or David Price? Let's put them in the ring together and find out. Parker doesn't deserve pay per view. Well, I mean, Parker's still got it. He's still young. He can still come back and become world champion again one day. So it's not over for him. I mean, he's what, 25, 26 years old, however. So he's still got plenty of time, and a couple of losses shouldn't change anything. But to charge $50? Nah, that's too much. Way too much. Parker gave Whyte a real tough fight. He did in the last couple of rounds, but up to that point, you see a lot of people are quite critical of Dylan Whyte beating Joseph Parker, saying, yeah, but Dylan Whyte almost got stopped in round number 12. It's like, yeah, okay. It's a 12-round fight, you know? It's a 12-round fight. Things happen. And for him to go 12 rounds with Joseph Parker in itself is good. And the fact that he was gassed out was good. So it's amazing to me how many people judge that whole fight just based on the 12th round, you know? And kind of like forget about the fact that Dylan Whyte knocked down Joseph Parker for the first time in his career. And I know Team Parker, or at least Barry, Kevin Barry, blames the fact that the clash of heads for the first knockdown, which wasn't a legitimate knockdown. I agree, but just looking at it when I first saw it, I thought it was a legitimate knockdown. But it's only because we had the benefit of replay that we could see that it wasn't. But for him to say that it put off Joseph Parker for the rest of the fight, that shows Parker isn't as mentally strong as I always thought that he was. And he needs to learn from that. And Parker needs to get that dog in him. And I'm sure Kiri will back me up on this one. Joseph Parker needs to get that aggression. He used to be an aggressive fighter, or at least it appears so anyway, where he would fight dirty. But now he seems to be more respecting the fighters. Screw respect. Get in there and get the win. That's all that needs to be happened. Parker's decent, but nothing special. Again, I think Parker's getting will get better. These two losses should help him. In theory, should help him. But well, what's happening with that Kyle B? I've seen him timed out loads of times. Is he giving people crap? I've totally missed some of the things he's been saying. What's up? Hey, hey, Mr. Kato, what's up? The Boxing and Jedi Tavern. You know, I'm itching to see the final installment of the Skywalker saga. I'm itching to see it, but I'm worried that they're not going to fix anything. I'm worried. I'm really worried about it. Yeah. So everybody, if you're like boxing and you like Star Wars, click on the name of the Boxing and Jedi's Tavern. That's my bro over there. Click on him. Click subscribe. You can still watch this video as we're going live, but just click subscribe and go check out his stuff after. And of course, the same with the other channels in the chat as well. McGregor's Boxing All Stars, go subscribe. Kiwi Box, go subscribe. And Boxing Finesse as well, do that. And anybody else who I may have missed. No worries, man. I was actually thinking about starting up a Star Wars channel at one point. I was thinking about it. But, it's quite difficult though when you spend so much time doing boxing and then you think, you know what, create another channel. And I'm thinking, that's a lot of work. A lot of work. No worries. Everybody, go subscribe to those channels I just told you about. Go give them all a sub. And if you haven't subscribed to this one as well, please do so. But just as important, click the thumbs up on this video. Or thumbs down, whichever you want. Either way, it doesn't really matter if it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It gets the video put into a recommended. So, which again, I'll give people like a little bit of a secret on this one. It doesn't matter if you thumbs up or thumbs down. It's only important that you click a vote. That's the only thing that really matters. Like so many people, I see so many YouTubers getting angry because people thumbs down their video. It makes no difference. It actually helps. A thumbs down is better than nothing at all. Oh yeah, subscribe to BG London. He's got himself a new channel out now as well. I've seen one for his Eddie Hearn one, and I've seen a bit of it. I was currently doing dinner, He's done a Dylan Whyte, Deontay Wilder, of course, but expect plenty of Deontay Wilder ones. He loves Deontay Wilder. He want to marry him. Didn't he, bad guy London? TYVM, Sporting Icons. Big Dog. Leroy Footlong. Lord of the Rings. I like Lord of the Rings. Star Wars was always my thing growing up, though. Star Wars was my thing. As a kid, all the figures. Obviously, like my parents used to buy me the Star Wars toys after the movies had already been out. So, like all three movies had already been out. So, yeah, I mean, Star Wars was my life as a kid. That was the be all and end all. Waking up on Christmas morning for a birthday, open up a Jabba the Hutt playset and the Millennium Falcon and the AT-ATs and all that kind of stuff. I just love Star Wars, and I've always loved Star Wars. But I feel like the last movie, because they killed Luke and they kept it in there, because Carrie Fisher died, they should have went back and edited it so Luke Skywalker didn't. And because they didn't, I'm annoyed by it. It kind of ruined it for me. AD, Ness is emotionally unbalanced. I think Ness is just emotionally imbalanced in general, isn't he? If he doesn't have wild nuts in his mouth, he's lost. He's lost. A Star Trek original series was my thing. Yeah, yeah. See, I mean, I remember bits of them. Obviously, not the original, when they were first coming out. Obviously, 'cause that was like, was it 60s and 70s or something? So obviously, way before my time. But I used to like the movies. I remember actually the very first Star Trek movie I ever watched was I forget which one it was. I think it may have been number three, the movie, the one where Spock died. I remember that one. Um, I watched the New Generations for quite a while. I watched that. I never got into Deep Space Nine, but yeah, I always liked Star Trek, but Star Wars was always my thing. Star Wars was the big one for me. Yeah, 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 yeah. With Lando screwing the Millennium Falcon, because who comes up with these ideas? I mean, why do they have to make out that Lando Calrissian was having it away with a cyborg robot? I mean, I mean, who puts ideas into that? Is this something that Disney are venturing into, like all walks of sexuality and whatever else? And if you enjoy shagging cars or whatever, it's perfectly acceptable with us here at Disney. I mean, I don't know. For me, there's some taboos Disney need to stay away from. They need to live in the real world. You know. Yep, I'm gonna be leaving too. So three dislike. That's all it is. Three dislikes. That's all right. Three votes that they're giving me, so that's cool. It helps. Those three will help put it into the recommended. So that's cool. Creases 33. Episode 8 and Solo were abominations. I didn't mind Solo. Um, I kept noticing that it wasn't Harrison Ford, which was putting me off. And yeah, I didn't like the whole Lando Calrissian thing. I thought that was terrible. It just totally put me off. But I like the fact Darth Maul came out at the end. I like that bit. And episode, yeah, The Last Jedi, killing off Luke in the way that they did was terrible. They should have had Luke Skywalker turn to the dark side, in my opinion. Just go in there and start going batshit and taking off the head of Ray or something. Because I'm pretty cool for them killing off Ray. I'd have been okay with that happening. And Poe Dameron, whatever, I've been okay with that happening. But they need to do more with Luke Skywalker. That was a total waste of an opportunity. Total waste of an opportunity. So anyway, AJ versus Usyk, who will win? AJ. I think it's too big. That's just my opinion. But who knows? We'll have to wait until we see the fight. But I think AJ wins that one. I think it'll be a good fight for a while. But I think once AJ catches him, it'll be good night Vienna. Yes, yes, I've been blocked on Twitter by Frank Warren. I'm not entirely sure why. Well, I say I'm not. I have a rough idea why, because I said that I thought it was a little bit embarrassing that Frank Warren didn't put on Huey Fury versus Joseph Parker on Box Nation, or and they let it go to YouTube on pay-per-view. So, and I noticed a little while after that I was blocked by Frank Warren on Twitter, but it's not actually Frank Warren who controls his account anyway. So I hear he's got people who do that for him. So it's people within Frank Warren's team who block me. Yeah, Lou Wood. I'll be doing a movie review of Creed 2. I'll be doing that one. I actually enjoy talking about movies. I mean, with some of the last live hangouts that I used to do before my internet started messing about and I was give up fine with it. We used to talk about movies in the chat. We did like a whole I don't know hangouts forum, didn't we? Before, like some of you guys will remember. We just talk about old movies like martial art movies like Kickboxer, Bloodsport, and the Karate Kid, the original movies, and um, Van Damme movies and Schwarzenegger movies, like 80s movies. And then we end up going into Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, 80s movies as well, like Flight of the Navigator and etc. Never Ending Story. We'll get into all those kind of things. And on a couple of occasions, I started off as boxing, but ended up doing a whole hangout just on movies. So yeah. Joe Joyce versus Ortiz, who wins? Ooh, I'd love to see it. And again, wasted opportunity. I think Joe Joyce, Luis Ortiz on the same card. Joe Joyce said, "Give me Luis Ortiz. I want to fight him," and wasted opportunity. But this is typical PBC, in my opinion. They just don't want to put two fighters in together. That's just how it is. But movies now are a load of rubbish. Well, yeah. I mean, compared to what they used to be like, yeah, I agree. Can't beat a bit of Never Ending Story or Batteries Not Included. Do you smoke weed? Me? No. No, I've never even tried it. Never tried it. Loads of my friends, as we were growing up, used to do it, but no, I never got into it. It's not something that I've ever really been really thought about, to be honest. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go up. I hope everybody is cool, and thank you very much for popping in. Um, Carl B, you kept getting kicked out of the chat for whatever reason. I have no idea why. I don't know what is going on. Um, But listen, if you're being a fool in the chat, people will block you. It's as simple as that. That's why I have moderators, so I don't have to watch the chat. And the people who are moderators, I trust them. So everybody, good night. Thank you very much, McGregor. Appreciate it, bro. Everybody else, thank you very much for popping in. And I'll catch you all on the next video. Make sure you click that thumbs up. Have a safe evening. Enjoy your weekend. Don't drink too much. All that kind of good stuff. Enjoy the boxing in about an hour if you're watching it. Catch you all next time.